Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of Roundup. We're back with another fascinating episode.
We'll be going all around the world with reports that inform and interest you. But first, here's a quick preview of what we have for you today.
The conflict in Gaza enters its third month with no sign of ceasefire. We join faith leaders as they raise their voice for peace. Then, we visit a floating guava market in Bangladesh. And finally, we delve into the world of Claude Monet.
We are really all over the globe in today's episode with those reports.
Yeah, we are. But first, Ushman is back with us today. Assalamu alaikum, Ushman. What's in the news this week?
Wa alaikum assalam, Nasir and Ghani. We've got some exciting reports lined up for us today. Let's get started. A global education survey has revealed a decline in academic progress across numerous countries. The Programme for International Student Assessment, PISA survey, is the first such study since the COVID-19 pandemic, showing the historic setbacks suffered by students. Since the 2018 test, the average international mathematics scores have dropped by 15 points. Reading scores fell by points equivalent to half a year of learning, while science scores have remained relatively stable, with 20 points representing a year of learning. An AI system designed to speed up the diagnosis of mental health conditions in children is to be developed in Cambridge. The technology will use routinely collected data about children to find patterns to identify those most at risk. Dr. Anna Moore, awarded a £2.5 million UK Research and Innovation Future Leaders Fellowship to lead the project, says it could revolutionize care and highlight the need for more resources. Child psychiatrists warn of a crisis in children's mental health, with the NHS estimating that 20% of individuals under 24 may require mental health support. Nasir and Ghani, can anyone guess what NASA celebrated on December 6th relating to space exploration?
Was it the anniversary?
That is correct. It was the International Space Station's 25th anniversary. Isn't that amazing?
It really is.
The event was marked with a special live event where a space-to-Earth call connected the current crew aboard the International Space Station with NASA Associate Administrator and the Space Station Program Manager. Those were our top stories here at Roundup this week. Now passing back over to you, Nasir and Ghani, for more on today's episode.
Jazakallah, Ushman, for those interesting reports.
Now it's time for our weekly Friday sermon discussion. Osman and Rahel are here to share with us the key points from this week.
Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters, and welcome to this week's Friday sermon discussion. Today we're continuing to delve into the Battle of Uhud and the remarkable character of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, during times of conflict.
Beloved Hazur continued his sermon on an important event from the time of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. Hazur mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ faced a tough decision to stay in Medina or confront the Meccan army.
Hazur, may Allah be his helper, also mentioned the dream where the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, saw a cow being slaughtered, hinting that some companions might become martyrs. His sword breaking indicated possible losses too.
However, he knew victory would come with patience. He geared up wearing 2 layers of armor, riding his horse Saqab. But before leaving, he led a funeral prayer, showing immense compassion.
There was also this pivotal moment where the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, insisted on following through once he put on his armor. It teaches us about respecting decisions, especially from those with wisdom.
The 3 flags assigned to key figures, Hazrat Usaid, Hazrat Habad, and Hazrat Ali radhiyallahu anhu, showed unity among different tribes. It's like having leaders representing different strengths.
And the Holy Prophet's peace and blessings be upon him halt at Shaykhain to check the army's age showed responsibility. Those under 14 or 15 were sent back, except for the skilled youngsters like Rafi and Samura, chosen after a wrestling match.
The wrestling story was interesting. Their eagerness to contribute got them noticed. It's impressive how the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, made exceptions based on their capabilities.
Beloved Hazur also mentions the betrayal of Abdullah bin Ubay, the hypocrite chief. He reduced the Muslim army to 700 against a 3,000 strong Meccan force.
Yet, the faith and determination of those who stayed behind, despite the odds, is awe-inspiring.
When they reached Uhud, the strategic positioning by the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, on the mountain shows foresight, and his address to the Muslims emphasizing obedience, patience, and unity. Lessons still relevant today.
Unity among believers is crucial. It's like the head and body analogy the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, used. If we're united, opponents can't break us easily.
Understanding these historical events helps us to appreciate the importance of unity, wisdom, and patience in facing challenges today.
Absolutely, Usman. Learning from the Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him's wisdom and the companion's resolve helps us to navigate our own challenges, doesn't it, Usman?
And it shows us how timeless these lessons are.
Hazur Ayatollah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz stressed the crucial need to pray a lot for the people of Palestine, especially in these difficult times. He encouraged us to heighten our prayers, dedicating ourselves to seeking peace in the region through our supplications.
That's all for today. Remember, brothers and sisters, we shouldn't forget to try and listen to all of beloved Huzur's sermons, as it's filled with blessings and so much more interesting things for us to learn.
Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah Osman and Rahel for sharing those key points from the recent Friday sermon. Don't forget to listen to Huzur's sermon in full yourself. Now, as you know, the conflict in Palestine is entering its third month and shows no signs of a ceasefire. Ghani has an update on the situation. Ghani?
Jazakallah Nasser. We are indeed into the third month of this conflict, and all efforts for a ceasefire were stalled on Friday when the United Nations Security Council rejected a resolution calling for a ceasefire to the end of the war. The United States used its veto power to reject the resolution, and the UK abstained. The remaining 13 members voted for resolution. The push for a ceasefire was made after UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres invoked Article 99 of the UN Charter. Article 99 states that the Secretary-General may bring to the attention of the UNSC any matter which is, in his opinion, may threaten the maintenance of international peace and security. According to the latest figures, more than 17,000 people have been killed in Gaza and 1.8 million Palestinians have been displaced. UN officials and right groups say there are no safe places for civilians in Gaza, as Israeli forces have begun bombing and attacking the south after isolating northern Gaza. According to the latest figures, more than 17,000 people have been killed in Gaza and 1.8 million Palestinians have been displaced. UN officials and rights groups say there is no safe place for civilians in Gaza, as Israeli forces have begun bombing and attacking the south after isolating northern Gaza. Airstrikes are continuing across the northern part of the Strip, with tanks and armoured vehicles deployed. With the violence showing no signs of abating, protests and calls for peace and a ceasefire are also going strong. The Voice for Peace campaign by the Ahmadiyya Muslim community is actively calling for an end to the conflict in Gaza. An event held in Bordon last week brought together faith leaders to raise their voices in unity to call for lasting peace.
At times of crisis, faiths and cultures unite together to bring about peace and harmony. That's what's happening here. Let's take a look. The Oakmoor School in Bordon, Hampshire, recently hosted the Voices for Peace event. The Voices for Peace campaign, guided by His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, is an international effort by the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, with an aim to de-escalate the war in Gaza and prevent the conflict from spreading further. Amidst the bombardment faced by thousands of Palestinians in Gaza, voices of peace from diverse faiths gathered to urge an end to the bloodshed. Over 100 individuals, united by a common purpose, convened to champion peace in a world often overshadowed by discord. In the spotlight were representatives from various faiths: a rabbi, a Buddhist faith leader, a Hindu faith leader, a pastor, and an imam. Each eloquently shared how their respective faiths promote peace. The rabbi called for an apology in light of the current circumstances.
I want an apology from my people in Israel who apologized by the people of the land for suppressing them, marginalizing them, making them second class.
Imam Atta al-Fatih Sahib explained Islam's teaching regarding peace.
Islam recognizes the founders, the prophets of all religions. And by doing so, Islam gives an olive branch out to everyone, all religions and all faiths, and says that we should unite as one. Peace is enshrined in the very word of Islam. Islam, which comes from the Arabic silm, actually means peace itself.
During the program, Zakaria and Layla also had the opportunity to contribute and share their thoughts.
Hatred is never appeased by hatred. Hatred is only appeased by love or non-enmity. This is an eternal law.
May everything in the universe be at peace. Let peace pervade everywhere at all times. May I experience that peace with my own heart.
Collectively, our voices serve as a powerful instrument, amplifying the call for a more peaceful world. The event concluded with a vote of thanks and a silent prayer led by Atal Qaddus, Naib Amir Saab UK. We had the chance to speak to the rabbi after the event for his reflections.
I'm incredibly thankful that the Ahmadiyya community is brave enough to ask us to speak to them. And so I said, if they are brave, you should also be brave. And I have a very simple message. If peace is broken, if you have a quarrel, even in a family, the very first thing is to apologize for your mistake. And then peace process, healing can start.
Conferences like this are taking place all over the world to try and stop the suffering in Gaza. Even though this event has finished, all of the prayers and dialogue will continue.
Jazakallah for that update, Ghani.
We'll continue to update you weekly on the ongoing crisis.
But for now, we are headed to Bangladesh, where we'll be getting a taste of floating markets. Let's take a look.
স্বাগতম এশিয়া মহাদেশের সর্ববৃহৎ ভাসমান বাজারে। আমরা এখন আছি বাংলাদেশের ঝালকাঠি জেলা শহর থেকে 15 কিলোমিটার দূরে ভীমরুলিতে। এই জলপথের মূল বাহন কোষা নৌকা কিংবা ডিঙ্গি নৌকা। দিনের শুরুতে পেয়ারা চাষিদের দেখা যায় খাল পাড়ে, তাদের হাতে বাঁশের তৈরি লোহার আংটাযুক্ত বিশেষ দণ্ড। ভীমরুলিতে এভাবে কৃষকেরা তাদের ফসল পারে, অর্থাৎ পেয়ারা এবং আমড়া। এখানে প্রায় 31,000 একর জমিতে 26টি সম্প্রদায়ের 20,000 পরিবার পেয়ারা চাষ করে। বাংলাদেশের সর্বপ্রথম এই অঞ্চলে পেয়ারা জন্মেছিল, আর এই অঞ্চলেই এখনও বাংলাদেশের সবচেয়ে বড় পেয়ারা বাজার বসে। যেহেতু পেয়ারা বর্ষা মৌসুমে বেশি পাওয়া যায়, তাই সাধারণত এই মৌসুমেই এই বাজারটি সবচেয়ে বেশি জমজমাট হয়ে থাকে। ভোর থেকেই কৃষকেরা এই বাজারের উদ্দেশ্যে আসতে থাকে, কিন্তু সকাল 9টা-10টার দিকে এই বাজার পুরোপুরি জমজমাট হয়ে যায়। পেয়ারাকে বাংলাদেশের আপেল বলা হয়ে থাকে। বাংলাদেশের পেয়ারা বাজারের চাহিদার প্রায় 60% এখান থেকে সরবরাহ করা হয়। কিন্তু এই বাজারের আকর্ষণীয় বিষয় হলো কৃষকেরা নৌকায় করে পেয়ারা ও অন্যান্য ফল নিয়ে আসে এবং তা নৌকাতে করেই পাইকারদের কাছে বিক্রি করে দেয়।
আমরা এ জায়গায় মূলত কয়েকজন ব্যাপারী আছি, কিছু মাল আমরা পেয়ারা, আমড়া, লেবু, কলা এগুলো ঢাকায় রপ্তানি করি। আর প্রত্যেক দৈনিক আমাদের জায়গা আমরা মনে হয় 1000 মন বিক্রি হয় এই জায়গায় প্রতিদিন। আর পেয়ারাও 1000-1500 মনের বিক্রি হয়। কলা ওরম যায়, তাও ধরেন 10 কাউন 15 কাউন কলা যায় ঢাকায়। আমরা এগুলো সবাই বিক্রি করি।
এই ভাসমান পেয়ারা বাজারকে দেখতে দেশ ও বিদেশ থেকে অনেক পর্যটক আসে।
এখানে আসার এত সুন্দর প্রকৃতি, এত সুন্দর মানে লীলাভূমি বলা যায়। এখানে সবকিছুই খুব সুন্দর, এবং এই জায়গায় যে নৌকা আছে, নৌকায় আমরা ভ্রমণ করি, আমার খুব ভালো লাগে। এবং প্রকৃতি হিসাবে যে ভীমরুলির যে অপার সৌন্দর্য আসলেই দেখার মতো।
পর্যটকেরা ভীমরুলি পেয়ারা বাজারের পাশাপাশি সেখানকার পেয়ারা বাগানও ঘুরে দেখে, যেখানে টিকিট কিনে ঢোকার পর যে যার ইচ্ছে মতো পেয়ারা গাছ থেকে পেড়ে খেতে পারে, যার ফলে পর্যটকেরা আরও বেশি আকৃষ্ট হয়।
প্রায় 200 বছর আগের এই ভাসমান পেয়ারা বাজার, যা এখনও চলমান, যেখানে আসলে বাংলাদেশের প্রকৃতি সম্পর্কে ধারণা পাওয়া যায়, যা বিদেশি পর্যটকদের বাংলাদেশের প্রতি আকৃষ্ট করে। এবারের মতো এখানেই বিদায় নিচ্ছি। আসসালামু আলাইকুম ওয়া রাহমাতুল্লাহ।
What a great report from Bangladesh.
It really was. Who knew going to get some fruits could be such an adventure?
Yeah, but now moving on from the markets of Bangladesh to the art galleries of Paris, we're now delving into the world of a very famous painter.
We've all seen his paintings, but may not know much about Claude Monet. Our reporter in France tells us more.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're in the heart of Paris and in front of the Orsay Museum. The museum is very special and famous in Paris. Inside there are lots of magical artworks like paintings, statues and pictures. These artworks were made during a very long time and during the 1800s and the 1900s. Today we're going to talk about an extraordinary artist named Claude Monet. Claude Monet was born in Paris, France about 200 years ago. He really liked colours and painted amazing pictures. His paintings are hanging here in the museum. He painted things that many people know, like a bird called La Paille, a train station called La Gare Saint-Lazare, or Les Coquelicots. People say he's the dad of a group of artists who did special paintings called Impressionism. He loved painting so much that he put on canvas every moment of his life and every feeling he had. Impressionism is when artists want to show how they see things using bright colours, instead of drawing everything very detailed. Monet liked to paint nature, landscapes and people's faces. But sometimes people didn't understand his art and said mean things about him. Still, Monet didn't give up and he kept painting and became one of the most famous artists of all time. Thank you for joining us on this museum visit and see you next time.
You know, you're right, I have seen those paintings before, but I didn't know anything about Claude Monet.
Jazakallah to our team in France for that very informative piece.
And with that, we've run out of time for this episode.
Jazakallah for joining us once again, and we look forward to bringing you back next week with a whole slate of new reports for you.
Don't forget to check out our social media or our email at roundup@mta.tv to email us any feedback you have for us.
And Jazakallah for tuning in today. And until next time,
Assalamu alaikum.
Oh, I shall call. Oh, I shall call. I shall call. Oh, I shall call. I shall call. Darkness seek to reach all the corners of the earth. Oh, I shall call. Oh, I shall call. I shall call. Oh, I shall call. I shall call. Darkness seek to reach all the corners of the earth. Oh, I shall call. Oh, I shall call. I shall call. Oh, I shall call. I shall call. Darkness seek to reach all the corners of the earth.